Okay, reports and communications. Following reports and communication items are provided for the rest of the council's information. No action can be taken on these items under this section unless the council agrees to include it on a subsequent agenda. And we're going to lead off this evening with Councilmember Espandola.
Thank you. I will be very brief. The last two meetings that we, in the last 2 weeks, was Sutter Butte's flood control and Gil Sizer drainage. And there's some work that is being done on that. And I just would like to echo what our healthcare provider said earlier, and that we all can be the answer to the prevention of COVID and the spread of COVID. And we have some very few things that we could do, and that is wearing our mask, social distancing, no social gatherings with family and loved ones. This is how I've been seeing my family and loved ones virtually. And support our local businesses in any way that you can. If you can do curbside or phone call ordering, help our local businesses. It's really, really important. And lastly, I just, because this is our last meeting, I think. It is, Mayor? Our last meeting for the year?
Well, unless we have a special or an emergency meeting, yes.
Okay. So, Dad, my dog is wanting attention if you hear him. So that I would just like to say thank you to all my peers, the council, and welcome, Wade Councilman Kirshner, I'm going to get your last name right, I swear. And that just welcome all of you and thank you for this year. We've worked together, we've struggled, but we've always stayed on the same principle of what to do best for our community. And I just, at the bottom of my heart, send you the well wishes for Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you and your loved ones, and all of our city employees, and to our community. Be safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Councilmember Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I like your dog already, Grace. I've never met him. But anyway, last few weeks have been pretty busy, a lot of changes, but not a lot city council related. I spent a lot of the time being sick or out of state. So I do have a couple things here. SACOG Transportation Committee, attended that meeting. A lot of routine business occurred there. Also with the Race, Equity, Inclusion subcommittee that I am on, we are going to bring everything to the full board on Thursday as far as some action items we can do at SACOG in order to be more inclusive and sensitive to the diverse populations that we serve out there. The Commercial Corridor Task Force that I'm a part of, there was a lot going on at the meeting. However, what came of it is we are doing a lot of things already, not the least of which was adjusting our development impact fees and also making efforts to streamline the entitlement process, which is much appreciated. Also, a bike and walk audit they're recommending, which of course I referenced in a previous meeting where Ben and I did with Julie Young. So that was a good stuff. GSEC attended the board of directors meeting, my last one, handing the baton off to the vice mayor. I'm sure he will do a great job. And Sabuvka, most of the items were of a routine nature. There are several projects moving along. Not the least would be the sediment removal up in Live Oak and the Yuba City boat dock area, and also finalizing preparations or the certifications for our 200-year flood protection here in Yuba City. And I'm going to stop there, keep things brief. Very busy, very talking to a lot of folks, but I also want to thank the members of the subcommittee for the city manager project, among many other things you guys do. I know it's a lot of work and really appreciate the thoroughness and the speed at which you're getting this accomplished as planned. So thank you so much. I'm good.
All right. Councilmember Kirchner.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of committees I'm on. But yeah, I look forward to working with the council in the new year. As far as this coming week, I plan on participating with the the Wreaths Across America at Sutter Cemetery and the ceremony Saturday morning. And I'd like to echo Councilperson Espinola on shop local. Let's support our local economy, but let's do it safely. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've been busy the last couple of weeks. As Councilmember Harris says, I still want to call you mayor, sir. It's only been 2 weeks, but anyway, we've been busy with the city manager recruitment. That is going well. I will leave it at that so you can update us, Mr. Mayor, if you would like. But really encouraged with what we've seen so far, and that process is moving forward. Upcoming meetings that normally would be scheduled that have been canceled for December, but there's a couple of notable things we need to keep on the radar is Yuba City Transit, as they will be bringing back a recommendation early into either January, February, March timeframe with a potential site selection for a new transit authority home. And as we know, there is one that is just north of City Hall here that has been on their radar as one of potential 3 sites. So we need to make sure that that is on our radar so we can talk to the transit authority. And of course, I will convey to Mr. Martin that Yuba City is interested in having that here. The other one is Regional Waste Management Authority, RWMA. Nothing going on there, but we do have a new JPA that will be coming about, and they'll be presenting to us in the early spring sometime, probably March timeframe is last I heard. As Councilmember Harris said, I attended my first GSEC, and a couple of notable things there that take away just to show you how that sphere of influence is growing. They increased the board size from 70 to 75, and this has to do with not public sector, but private sector investments. Their budget this year was just shy of $6 million, and $5 million of that did come from the private sector. They're seeking projects, and they've got 28 in the hopper, and they are trying to currently close on 5 that will bring about 1,650 jobs to our region. The big issue that we're facing is real estate, because all of these companies that are relocating or looking to come to our region are looking for a lot of space. They are looking for office space from 35,000 square feet up to 200,000 square feet. And they're not going to wait for us to build it for 2 or 3 years. They're looking to be here in 30, 60, 90 days. As Councilmember Harris can attest to on the call, they told us that. What the state is doing is they are looking to not bring back all their state workers to the office, and they are looking to lease out those spaces. So one thing that we should do as a city is look and see if there's any of those offices here that they're looking to try to turnkey, because GSEC is brokering those to try to get bodies in there. And I think the biggest area that we're going to fit in is if we can get housing going, because they're going to need housing. And it is already, you've probably seen it on the news as well. Sacramento is projected to be the #1 housing market, the greater Sacramento area, in 2021. So back to what we talked about earlier with development impact fees and everything we as a council have done the past year to try to grow this community. The sooner we can get things moving, the better we probably will be, because I think we're going to fit into this growth through the greater Sacramento area with housing and people wanting to be close enough to drive to the city, but they want to be part of our community and have that small town feel. So those are the things that took out of that. They have 2 campaigns they're launching nationwide. One is Next Out West. That's the hashtag. The Sacramento area is the next best hotspot in the West. And the one that they're targeting, the San Francisco Bay Area, Silicon Valley, is Rethink Remote. And that's what they're trying to get up here. So that was the big takeaways from that. And then lastly, we are at that time of year. It's Christmas. I'm sure I'm like many of you. It doesn't feel like Christmas, but it is Christmas. And saw a video Sunday. Made me stop and think how miracles really do happen. And it's a true story back in World War I, where they were in the trenches and all of a sudden they broke out with Silent Night. And the two sides stopped firing and they came out and actually were cordial and played soccer and spent some time together before they went back to the spoils of war. Miracles can happen. We will come out of this. Merry Christmas to my city, Yuba City. I call it home. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. And thank you to my colleagues, past and present from this year. We've done a lot of good work and I look forward to the year ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. First, I've got a few things, so I guess that's a privilege of being a mayor. First, I want to acknowledge Councilman Kirchner truly has hit the ground running, and to use, a fire terminology is drinking through a fire hose. It only gets better from here. You're a good asset to our group. I look forward to working with you, and we do have a lot of work in front of us, but I do also know that we are a very dedicated group, as Councilwoman Espandola said, and welcome aboard. A couple other things that are going on. Well, let me back up. I really want to reach out to, again, I know we've said it before, but Adventist Ride Out. We can all have our own personal beliefs about COVID and it's either this or either that, but the bottom line is our hospital right now is feeling the brunt of a lot of patients, and those patients are our family, our friends, our relatives, neighbors, et cetera. And to use the comment of Mr. Ross, and I believe it was Ms. Gordon as well, is the first responder right now is us. We need to take responsibility for trying to keep ourselves healthy, irregardless of whether it's COVID or not. It's just a matter of this is the time of year when stuff's flying around and people need to be as healthy as they can be. And, no drinking and driving, no doing crazy things. Just try to lessen the burden on our one and only hospital. I do want a little quick shout out to Jackie as well. I reached out and said, hey man, how do I get Rick Ross in here? And so she gave me a cell phone number, and I won't post it. Well, maybe I will, but anyway, I appreciate that heads up too. And he passed me to Linda, and Linda Plummer did a fantastic job. One of the things that's been concerning to me, and this goes back to my emergency management background, is as we as a city continue to plan for, respond to, and deal with the things that the pandemic's bringing to us, is what are we doing as a city to make sure that we are thinking ahead, and what are our proper emergency plans, what are our contingency plans? And I just want to highlight a meeting that I had with our fire chief Jesse Alexander, our police chief Rob Landon, and our interim city manager. They're doing really good work, and I'll just leave it right there. We took a few bullets for having an emergency meeting because we asked the hard questions and we got the answers. So to our fire chief, police chief, interim city manager, very much appreciate the fact that you've got the city's back on this. Doesn't mean we've got it all covered, but it means that at least my head hits the pillow at night knowing that people are thinking ahead, and that's what we should be doing as a city. We owe it to our residents. I am concerned continually about just making sure that the levels of communication continue to flow from all those responders, and that's our partners, our regional partners. So over the last week, I've been doing some shuttle diplomacy, and I've got some more meetings coming up just to make sure that the city gets the most current information that it can, so that our folks can continue to do the great job of planning and respond in an appropriate fashion as Mr. Rawson mentioned, this thing's probably going to escalate. I mean, that's what the subject matter experts are saying. So we need to make sure that we're addressing those. And I've been pleased with those meetings so far, and I'm hopeful that we'll continue to enhance the level of communication that flows amongst the regional partners. I do also, there are some things that are coming up, and this involves the ad hoc committees and the committees and the commissions. I've been working, as well as staff has been working with our city attorney in regards to addressing some irregularities that needed to be cleaned up. So I beg the council's patience as we work through those. And I thank our attorney Shannon Chaffin for helping to guide us through cleaning up some stuff that needed to be addressed. Final sort of work-related item is on the master tax exchange agreement. We have provided a response to Sutter County, and we continue to await a response back from them. But I just want the community to know that Yuba City is very much interested in moving this ahead, and we look forward to the cooperation with the county in getting that done. That does address some of the affordable housing and commercial needs of the community, and we feel it's an important project. As far as just other things that are going on, being a participant with Dr. Liu in the weekly meetings on public health, those have been somewhat spirited of late, as you might imagine. I do know there's some changes to those meetings that I think will enhance them, and I'm looking forward to that. That's tomorrow morning, as Vice Mayor Shaw and the former Mayor Harris mentioned, very involved with the city manager process. Could easily be one of the most important things we do in 2021 is pick that position. And I want to go ahead and close in memory of two people, if I may. First is Chuck Yeager. Chuck Yeager isn't necessarily a resident of Yuba City, but he was a frequent visitor. He passed away December 9th at the age of 97. He was born 1923 and grew up in West Virginia. After graduating high school, enlisted in the Army Air Forces and trained as a mechanic. At the start of World War II, he was offered fighter pilot training, and he became a fighter pilot. In 1944, he was flying combat missions out of England. By the victory in Europe Day, VE Day, he had taken part in downing 13 enemy planes, one of the highest totals in that war. In 1945, he returned home and married his wife, Glennis Stickhouse, who was organizing USO dances in Oroville. First man to break the sound barrier in 1947. In 1975, at the age of 52, he retired from the United States Air Force as a brigadier general. A true risk-taker, American hero, Chuck Yeager. Godspeed. Second is close in memory of one of our own ex-city employees, John Cardicelli. John passed away December 9th at the age of 87. He was born in 1933 in Sacramento. He grew up in Nevada City and moved to Yuba City at the age of 18. He was a United States Air Force veteran. He served in the Korean War. August 1st, 1967 through June 30th of 1990, he served with the Yuba City Police Department for 23 years of service to our community. He retired as a detective police sergeant. He was a devoted husband, father, grandfather, great-grandfather. Married for 36 years to the love of his life, past mayor, our own Yuba City past mayor, Karen Cardicelli. He was devoted and loyal Yuba City police officer and a Yuba City citizen. And I'd like to close tonight in memory of both Chuck Yeager and John Cardicelli. Godspeed to John Cardicelli and our condolences to Mayor Cardicelli. We'll call this meeting adjourned.